Hi there, Michael André Ford in Texas, your American Angel Intuitive. It's really easy to turn your life situation around. Now, that may sound like a daunting task. It may sound like you're going to Nepal to climb K2 or something like that. But it's actually super easy to switch how you're rolling in life and to walk a smoother path. All you have to do is start paying attention. The catch here, and there's always a catch, is this is the last place that your brain, your psyche, your ego, your unconscious side, whatever you want to call it, your resistance side, the side of you that judges, reacts, worries, stresses, and has a lot of fear, your fear side. It's the last place, that side of you, the part of you again that says my problem is, my situation is, this is what's happening to me. It's the last place up here is going to allow you to go. And it can take you many lifetimes. It can take you one lifetime, 2 decades. It happens to us all. We get stuck. We do a lot of spinning. We keep telling the same story over and over again. The story could be 28 pages long. It could be 5 pages long, 5 paragraphs long. It's still a story we're telling everyone and ourselves, and we're reinforcing it. So when you go from here to here, the journey of a lifetime, the journey of an instant, that's when everything starts to shift. The only way you can make that journey, it's not through some institute, it's not Machu Picchu, it's not an ashram in India under a guru, maybe any one of those things actually. But generally speaking, nothing is going to be found externally. You have to get to here and go through what you thought you knew, what you thought your reality was, what you thought your life situation was, what you thought your awareness consciousness level was, and then through that reality into a broader, bigger reality. In fact, life itself, the universe itself, loves the fabric of the universe. It is a broader reality than any of us are currently grasping right now. But you get glimpses of it. Anytime you laugh, smile, dance, hug your dog, go for a run, exercise is compassion. Anytime you relax out of thinking and into your heart, you're actually connected with all. You do this also, 54,000 times in a day. But your brain is there to regulate everything. It's got a clipboard, it's got rules, it's got structure, it says you can't. It will not allow you to give yourself credit for being that open, that conscious, that aware, that in sync with all there is. So paying attention, slowing down, breathing more, smiling more, walking more slowly, being more mindful, maybe meditating, sure. Great ways to start disengaging from what you think you know. Basically, most of our days are just endless running streams of thought. We react to everything like a puppy running from one toy or one person to the next in a room. It's awfully cool. It's fun. It's what we know. I still do it. We're always going to be doing it. But part of life is endless growth and expansion. The one thing that the brain, the psyche, the clipboard, the fear, the ego does not want. Change is scary. The unknown is scary. It doesn't want to be in the unknown. It's like a little kid, as a lot of people say. So change, expansion never stops. You can experience more love anytime you wish. And once you've gotten the hang of this, out of getting out of here at least 7% more a day or a week, that's what an angel said. I help people meet, hear, feel, see angels, figures from India, Native American chiefs, Buddha, Mother Teresa, you name it, plus a few loved ones. The name of the game is once you've figured out the difference between this flow of energy, which is generally a waste of energy, and when you're here, when you're at peace, you're off to the races. That's when you can really get going, following your unique life path in life, having it defined more by angels if you're not even aware of what it is. You came in to do something or to experience something or to have more fun or to breathe easier. You did not sign up for everything that you're going through. If you're saying my problem is, my situation is, that's just a consciousness level, a reaction to what you think is happening to you. Very few of us, when we get an hour's notice, a job layoff, like happened to me, 72 of us, 1 hour's notice. I was out of a job in New York City. I was actually excited because it gave me my opportunity to leave New York after like 18 years and to move to Texas for a new adventure. I didn't know what was going to happen. But it's scary no matter what. You get an hour's notice, you get laid off, and few of us jump around and say, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. In fact, no one says, this is my opportunity for growth. You have a car wreck, you get your spouse, your partner tells you they want to break up or get a divorce, your job lets you go, you get bad health news. no one reacts immediately, unless you're a saint, and says, oh my God, this is my opportunity for growth. I can't wait. New forms of expansion, greater heights of love, greater heights of awareness, and I get to be here more. It just doesn't work that way. We're human. We react to everything. We also engage in something. It's a false currency, and I don't really like that expression that much, but we do a lot of knowing up here. Judging, knowing. It's the type of knowing, though, that precludes possibility. Pretty much it's the currency of science. It's the currency of pretty much every conversation, especially when you're talking about others. The more you heap knowing that precludes possibility, that isn't actually factually accurate in the broadest sense, the more you're actually kind of slinging mud into your own energy field. So the more you can just be at peace. There's the old Zen Buddhist expression, is that so? There's the monk who's in the fisherman's village who gets a knock on the door one day. And some parents with their teenage young adult girl present a baby to the monk. The young woman has accused the monk of being the father. He says, is that so? And takes in the child. He rears it as his own. I think it's 6 months later, a year later, as the story goes, she kind of fessed up to who it really was. They go back to the door, they knock, they want to get the kid back, the baby back. And he's like, is that so? And hands it back. So if that makes sense, we get caught up in facts, details, accomplishments, failures, labels, judging, using certain words, trying to control ourselves, trying to control others, trying to say there's only one way to think about a topic. And that is the most limiting form of experience in life. I'd argue it's not really experience and it's not life. You're actually more like Scrooge at the beginning of Christmas Carol. You're dental floss. You're reducing your ability to flow in life, in this universe, in this world that you're familiar with. And that's not the route. Through the brain, through structure, through rules, regulations, through wrong and right, is not the opportunity for growth and expansion. It only happens here. Love is love, and all the details are details. In fact, the more you can let go of details, the more you can learn it's not personal, let it go, the faster you'll expand, you'll grow, and be able to move past whatever situation you're in. The more you focus on those details that are unpleasant, the more you repeat them to everyone, the more you accept them as your reality, the more you stay exactly where you are. It's just the way it works. And there's a gajillion authors, a gajillion angels who will tell you this. How you flow is how you flow. Where you put your focus is where you put your focus. Your conscious and unconscious decisions and how you're flowing your energy daily is on you. No one else can make your decisions for you or help you take any steps. So everything you do, whether you know it or not, is you're accountable for. I don't know how else to say it. How you spend your energy is how you spend it. So ignorance is no excuse, and that's okay too, because the only way to learn is to learn. It's like a hot stove up here and a lot of fun down here. The more you trust the universe, the more you trust yourself, the more self-love, the more love you share with others, the more love you allow for yourself. The more you get comfortable, the more you can stick your elbows out, the more you can thump your chest and be you. I hope that made sense. So I help people actually meet unconditional love, spirit guides, angels, light beings. You can hear God if you can own the angel part and be really cool about all of that. You can get hugs. You can see full on who you're chatting with: Plato, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Socrates, and so on. If you can stay super chill, you can meet a loved one. You can hear God. The way I describe God is just all voices at once, speaking at once. It's a big deal, but any one figure could do the trick, I think the expression is, could suffice, could get you all your answers. And think about it this way. If I told you you had a magic little device right here that would give you any answers to any questions, 50,000 times better than AI. I'm not knocking AI, but AI is limited to human knowledge. And human knowledge, I think it's going to become apparent, is extremely limited. It is nowhere near, it's 1% of 1% to the 100th of grasping how the reality of the universe really is. I will stipulate one quick thing. Love is the fabric of the universe. Trust this, allow for this, and watch what happens. It's a bit of a leap of faith. You could call it faith religious, non-religious faith. It's the same thing to me. It's letting go of details, letting go of what you know to get out of the filter, the lens, the constrictor plate, to get to your heart, where you're already connected to everything that is. You're already a champion, an inner fearless, peaceful warrior at everything I might be describing here. You just up here won't believe it, give yourself credit for it. Start to be like Sherlock Holmes, a smart one who's not critical of yourself, who starts to spot your patterns during the day and how incredible you are. If you enjoy music, if you can enjoy cooking, if you can enjoy taking a breath or looking at a sunrise, sunset, hugging your dog, letting your dog lick you, enjoying flowers, pausing from the iPhone, pausing from the TV, pausing from the bombarding thoughts, inputs from external organizations or other people, if you can cultivate your own authentic presence, watch what happens. That's all this is about. So I'll do some steps with you right now, and I'll talk more about this, but you have no limits. And if you have no limits, perhaps you really have no limits. You don't have to believe anything up here. It helps if you set your intent. Say, okay, I'm willing to let the universe help me a little bit more. The universe is here in all its form. We're only talking unconditional love, the positive side, is here to help you grow, expand, to feel secure, to have more fun, walk a smoother path. The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho's book, talks about this. Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks, light beings, they talk about it. Universal forces are in place to take care of everything that you think you need to do. The brain here is very bossy. It's in the driver's seat. It thinks of the automobile you're in. I'm going to argue that you're in a stretch limo, actually, once you recognize the difference between thinking, which generally is like 1% of 1% of negativity to full negativity, and everything in between. And then, some thinking's good. The thinking that's good is actually happening down here. When you're creative, when you're jumping around for joy and you're thinking some happy thought, you're actually here. You're in the moment. And so everything's a construct of the mind, including time. You know this from your university class that was 1 hour long. But if the teacher was really sucked or was really amazing, time would bend. The 1 hour would feel like 15 minutes, or the 1 hour would feel like 2 hours. In fact, that would be probably the time you saw auras. If you were sitting in rows, you were tuning out. The professor's so boring. You could see on the backs of heads of students in front of you, you could see colored light. That's, I would argue, one of the best ways to let go and just tune out. If you're at a movie theater before the movie starts but the lights are down, respectfully, you can tune into others' energy. You're already doing this all the time to do snap decisions, to decide which aisle you're going to walk down in the supermarket. You're one giant magnetic field, one giant navigation system, one giant Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is just about trusting your flows, the consciousness currents that are within you and around you. It's a little bit of the Star Wars stuff. I can do Yoda's voice for you. Let's blow a little bit of sage first. I do this on all my shows. I've got an Angels, Positivity, and Love show. Guests from all over the world with incredible insights, incredible life stories. They share their own learning experiences and growth, oftentimes before the show or after the show, and also often during the show. They take steps with angels. I just helped a woman from New Zealand yesterday who's an international #1 best-selling author, multiple books. She's fantastic. I was so blown away by how open she was, very, very aware of the steps she's taking in her life. She pays attention, and I think that's just incredible. She had a lot of fun yesterday. I had a lot of fun. You'll see that show in March, but it's on YouTube. You're already hopefully at the YouTube channel here, so just hit that subscribe button, that like, comment on something that's fun here. You're already maybe catching sage. You just have to say, okay, I'm allowing for the sage. It's kind of like that professor class thing that I talked about. Time isn't the way you think it is, if you'll allow for more with a capital M. I only have one bit of rule or structure. Ask angels, the universe, to get you out of your head, into your heart. Smell a little bit of sage. If you want to think of this as plant medicine, that's fine. Everything's got energy. Everything has consciousness to some degree. Everything speaks, in my opinion. Trees, hummingbirds, your dog's like a third grader. If you'll just listen. You have to be here to listen, and you can't be up here thinking something. So learning to pump the brakes on the human side of us that we all do. We all do tons of judging, thinking, going fast up top. That's not what this is about. Just allow. Get out of your head, into your heart. Allow, ask, and receive. So ask angels to bring you the sage smoke in New Zealand, Canada, Germany, Mexico. I mean, this has been done all over the world. I was a guest on at least 45 shows in the last less than 2 years. And show hosts, producers, audience you'll see their comments. I think I'll put some of them up on the website. There's too many for me to grab all those and put them up. But people do smell smoke, and it's on a 2-year delay or a 6-month delay. They watch it a week later, they're catching smoke. So there's something up. Allow for mini miracles, allow for miracles, whatever you want to call it. What will you allow for is the rub here. Most of us are locked up or shut tight like an oyster. And that's the name of the game, is can you just open openness, the gateless gate, the doorless door, the Zen thing. Blue Cliff Notes if you like the Zen stuff. Joe Shu. Let everybody do their jobs. Let your higher self do their jobs. You can see your soul out the window. It looks like an aurora borealis. That happened yesterday. And anyone can do this. If you're just willing, open, and you're like, okay, I don't know anything up top. You don't need to know anything. You can't know anything to do real listening. You have to park it and get out of your own way to do listening. So catch the sage. But why settle for a linear, sort of understandable experience? Ask for sage and ask for flowers too. A flower sense: wisteria, lavender, rosa rugosa, hibiscus. You know what you would like to smell. Your angels certainly know. Yell chef's choice. Let them decide. You're not alone ever. So if you need to take heart, you're really feeling like you're in a jam, a pinch, just know you're loved. But unconditional love figures will not want to tell you how to roll. They're here to just support and love you. If you've ever noticed what love is about not judging. It's just allowing. It's love. It's shiny. Piglet and Winnie the Pooh. Piglet asks Winnie the Pooh, how do you spell love? And Winnie the Pooh says, you don't spell it, you feel it. So it's not up here. It's not about words. It's not about judging. It's not telling you how to behave. That's unlove or unconsciousness or a lack of awareness or everything that's up here, negativity. It's the other side of non-duality that's not love. And you'll see that all over society. And I think the pendulum has swung extremely. I remember the 1980s, being in college, late 1980s, and I thought we would never go through more control, more people, very few people at the top, so to speak, running the show for everybody else. We're seeing the most extreme examples of, constraints, repression, dictating how things are to regular human beings all over. So your freedom happens here. Just take a breath, smile. Don't worry about the externals. Everything always shifts, and we're getting helped. You're protected. If you're worried about aliens and all the disclosure stuff going on, you're protected. Again, where you put your focus is where you put your focus. Don't leave your YouTube channel on 24/7 on aliens if you're worried about aliens. Light beings exist. Unconditional love light beings that are like whales. Angels are like dolphins. They're all from all over, although light beings might be just more cosmos level. Angels can be, all shapes, sizes, colors. They live within you and around you if you need a multidimensional perspective. They're technically still learning from us. They're not perfect. From our perspective, they're absolutely perfect and have all the answers. They can see your past, present, future, your concurrent. But from our perspective, past lives, time isn't, again, what you think it is. My bottom line on this is don't worry about the details. You can get into the details and have everything explained to you the way you need to hear it. With 7 billion people, that's probably 40 trillion different ways we need to have the exact same concept explained to us because of so many individual personalities, what we like, what we dislike. That's our human nature. Don't change a thing. I don't want you to stop liking sushi or to start liking sushi, but just appreciate that they're completely arbitrary in a greater, grander scheme. It's all about love. Love isn't about the details. Compassion is not dependent on any one person's happiness. So catch sage, catch flowers, catch an ocean smell. And I'll tell you one dad joke just to get you laughing. If you're laughing, you're in your heart. You can't fake a laugh. I've never met anybody who walks around and says, I'm going to fake my laugh all day today. I've never met anybody, ever, not one person who's ever said, I'm going to spend as much of my energy out of here today and waste as much as I can purposefully. So our thinking, it's nothing to beat yourself up over, but it's just something where humans are. There's a lack of awareness. There's a greater way to say that, which is we all have incredible room for growth, opportunity for growth and expansion. That's every Omega Institute teacher for the last 40 years through that institution. That's every self-help book author. That's every New York Times best-selling author and so on. It doesn't mean they're not at the top of their game and haven't sold 10 million books yesterday. And it doesn't mean you shouldn't go read that book or take their class or enjoy their movie. Check out Dan Millman, Peaceful Warrior. I try to plug him. I must have plugged him 100 times in the last 10 years or more on air. Love his book. And he may be a guest. We never know. I have not gotten to know. I've been told to check back in the fall of 2024, so I'm very excited about that. It'd be great to have him on. Okay, allow for what you can allow for. Try not to know anything. I think you've found many instances looking back in your life that where you don't try, it's a lot easier. Stuff happens. Synchronicity, serendipity, but what do you think angels are doing behind the scenes? They make stuff happen for you, so trust a little bit more, worry a little bit less. What will you allow for? Don't even try to define anything. The more you use words, the more you're constricting outcomes. Your thinking is like an Acme brick factory that cannot stop churning out bricks. That's why a mindfulness practice, meditation practice, exercise practice, walks in nature help you slow down the bricklaying factory. It makes walls, it rebuilds walls, and all you can do is practice the ability to let go, which is from here to here, get into your heart, and watch your walls dissolve temporarily. You can only let go of so much detail, your story, what you think you know, and then, it's kind of a game. It's ebb and flow. Unfortunately, thinking's not going out of the picture according to angels for mankind anytime soon, but there is more consciousness available, more love. You only have to allow for this, and essentially it seeps in from everywhere, from within. You're already fully connected to love. Let's do it a different way. Love is a constant. It never went away. So think of the greatest years of your childhood. That fantastic summer you lived on the cottage on that one little island, you painted all summer. It was glorious. That one summer with so-and-so on the beach, or just doing something for a weekend. That vibration still exists. You've just found a way with your brain, with what you know, what you think you're experiencing, to block it out and to not enjoy it. You don't have to have the sage right now lit in front of you to smell sage. We'll let it maybe dissipate first more. But if I show you an angel photo, they can bring you sage, sweetgrass, juniper, tobacco, leather. A Native American chief can bring you one of those 50 sacred smells. You could be walking tomorrow. If you've done this and had the experience, your brain is likely to allow you to repeat it in the future. But if you're in a supermarket tomorrow and you've already gone through the experience of just asking for flowers and getting flowers, you can do it again at the supermarket tomorrow. So what I teach is the ability to let go, to tap what you already have. Technically, I'm doing trans-dimensional channeling for a multidimensional, super fun experience. There's not a lot of adult humans who take themselves super seriously, who take their path in life super seriously, that can allow for this. So I'll have to give make-believe examples. You've been India trained for 40 years. You're the top author. You're the top practitioner of this mindfulness, this yoga, this whatever. Odds are you won't allow a complete stranger who's a little, usually I'm very enthusiastic. I can seem glib, if that's the word. But I love to come right in, slice right through, help a person get out of here, get to here, out of what they know, into total possibility, to connect to the universe with no barriers. They get any answers, all languages, all dialects. It's direct. I don't see the questions. I don't see the answers. They get hugs. The hugs can become healing. They can see consciousness flowing, light, auras, universal love, whatever you want to call it. It's light. Angel light, light beings. Meet Seth from the 1970s. You can full on see those figures. If you're really gutsy, you'll just see them right here. It's a lot to allow for, and so the more seriously you take yourself, like a lot of the top experts do. I would if I was in their shoes. I'm not pointing any fingers here. It's just, we all are super tight at times in life. We're not going to just allow for more happiness, more fun, more sparkle, more zip, but fairies do it great. They'll make little fireworks shows for you if you'll just ask for it and allow for it. Where do you want to put yourself in each moment? The more serious we are, the more we're a scientist, a professor. A lot of those folks are structured in logic. This is the way it is. I teach it, therefore it is. But that's up here. There is no structure in life as far as I can tell. It's wide open. Where you put your focus is where you put your focus. If you want to believe in limits, endless limits, there's 40 trillion limits that humans have created that have absolutely no place in the giant universe. It's what you're allowing yourself to get more of, more limits. What does no limits look like? Love. Hug a dog, let a dog lick you, watch a kid with his mom having fun on the playground, enjoy a butterfly flying by, samadhi, satori, whatever you want to call it. Be in the zone. Down here, that flow state where you're one with everything, one with the soccer ball on the soccer field. So athletes going through slumps, can shorten their slump. The slump is there for a reason, to help them kind of reboot, learn something, to move past what they thought they knew. A lot of thinking is like it's like San Antonio's water, heavy in minerals that can start to clog up your shower head, your sink head. You need a salt system, one of those, water filtration systems to keep the pH level good, something like that, to soften the water. So thinking is like that. It's a lot of minerals. It's a lot of clogging stuff that builds up here. After a while, you get slanted. You're not as optimistic as you once were. It wears you down. It limits your ability to bounce back from situations. In fact, if you could only see your energy when you're behaving one way or operating in a certain vibration versus when you're here in your love, you would be like, oh, it would be immediate. When people can see those flows, half the negativity, half the resistance, half the knowing that precludes possibility that's not in alignment with the universe would just simply disappear. Why would you waste the energy? If you saw, let's make up a color, it's red with polka dots in it, and every time you spoke, like, my neighbor's a jerk, I hate such and such, I hate such and such, I hate this news channel, I hate this state in the United States of America, and you saw red with polka dots going out, and it didn't feel good. And it also, when you did it, it reverberated around you. So you got like a mini slap in the face instead of love and a hug, instead of sparkles. If you started to see that energy and you got sizzled every time you used it, you would stop immediately, because why would you do harm? Why would you do hate? Why would you do unlove? Why would you ever do anything but unconditional love, kindness, gentleness, compassion towards yourself and others? We all would sign a piece of paper saying it's wonderful to be kind, nice, gentle, and love would be wonderful. But we still practice all the stuff that goes through the brain. So here's the earth-shattering news, is you can see those energies. You can, without seeing those energies but feeling them, you can pay attention more. You can see the light on your hands. I think it's Celestine Prophecy that does it this way, but in India they do it this way. You can just see it on your hands. You can see it on trees, dogs. It's talked about in Buddhist scriptures and so on. I think you see it in a lot of religious stuff when you see the circle of light around a person. But you can tell how a person's flowing if you're willing to pay attention. If you're a real estate person and you're wondering which group to get into a real estate deal with, you're seeing red light with pink polka dots all over the one group, and you're seeing happy light with sparkles coming off of them. You feel good about interacting with them. You go home, you tell the wife or the husband, hey, that group is so cool. I hung out with them. They just feel good. It's natural. It's a natural fit. It makes sense to do the deal with them. I think you're starting to get the idea. You already practice this all the time. So it's really a level of self-awareness or a realization of what's already happening within. You just have to pay attention more. And so that's what I teach, is falling in love with life again, falling in love with yourself, appreciating yourself, appreciating all the potentiality that exists, that you can go in any direction. You have a unique life path, but before you can really get going on it, and you may think you're already on it fully, but you have not figured out the difference between here and here. It's like ripping the sheet off a sports car. You're the sports car. I don't care if it's a 60s Porsche that's a rarity, only one was ever made. I don't care if it's a modern Lamborghini. I don't care, whatever your car or a super yacht is, or just an animal. You're a cheetah. You're a puma. Pick your animal. You can meet spirit animals too. You can meet the tiger who the Divine Mother rides on in India. You can meet the Divine Mother too. This is full on seeing, hearing, feeling. So if you think all these figures don't exist, your Aunt Martha doesn't exist, who passed over 10 years ago, but you once in a while feel her, I'm not going to say you're doing a discredit to yourself, but you're limiting what actually is happening. I've had thousands of people do this, and in groups seeing, hearing, feeling. It happened at Omega Institute, my 3-day event in 2022. I always say this one angel named Joy usually shows up as a blonde. Of course, she showed up as brunette. Do not listen to me at all. But angels know what they're doing. It's like going to a barbecue in your backyard or a friend's house and getting to hang out with some of the coolest characters in the world. Mandela, MLK, Elvis, Mother Teresa, Chogyam Trungpa, Thich Nhat Hanh, Kuan Yin, a Jin who's a petite little fellow, looks like a Zen master out of a Quentin Tarantino movie. He's everything about East Asian mysticism. He's like the Energizer Bunny, met the Encyclopedia Britannica. He's been around for eons. I've got photos of angels. I've got a couple videos. Just check around on the website. You'll see them quickly. Historical photos will move, wink, smile. Again, this isn't about what you know. This is about letting go of knowing Most of the human knowing, again, precludes all possibility. It's fixed, concrete thinking. It's heavy. And scientists know this. Discovery is usually only good for 2 days, 2 years, 2 months, and then someone else comes up with something broader. I mean, wait for the day when scientists, younger ones perhaps, I mean, an open mind can happen when you're 75, 95, 65. You just have to get out of what you know to do basic listening. That's all this is. Basic feeling, basic seeing. But it might as well be rocket science, and we're suggesting going to the moon with no spaceship. People are yet unaccustomed to embracing this at any level. Spiritual circles, holistic circles. If I go to that angel community over there and I say, hey, do you want to meet angels? See them, interact, get a hug, physically get a hug, see them in human form. Door gets slammed a lot, not always. And they're like, no thanks, we're here for angels. If I go to the Buddhist community and I'm like, hey, do you want to hang out, meet Buddha, Kuan Yin, Thich Nhat Hanh? No thanks, we want to meet Buddha, Thich Nhat Hanh, Kuan Yin. We're looking. Chogyam Trungpa, same thing. India, same thing. I mean, there's 40 million communities that have set themselves up in structure, a lot of words, this is how it is. And the real, and any one of those individuals inside that community can pick it up like that, do it like that, they have. And so it's not about any blanket assumptions. I forget, painting the whole group as limited. It's just, we do the human thing, whether we're in a group or not in a group, and we limit more than we stay open. And if you can practice the openness, everything else comes in. You don't need me. You don't need to listen to a thing I say. The most I'll tell you is, hey, angels exist. Trust it so. Get cracking. Your answers and much more will come, and loves the fabric of the universe. And oh yeah, where you put your focus is where you put your focus. So try to be more patient with yourself. Try to go slower. Breathe slower. Eat slower. Do it to the point where you start laughing. And guess what? That pendulum's going to swing. Ebb and flow happens every 2 hours. You're going to go right back to talking fast, thinking fast, watching movies, TV, judging on the iPhone versus you could have given a hug to your dog. It's what we do. So 7% less thinking a day, according to an angel, is like an hour and a half, something like that. Get a calculator out. Just, that's the Olympic gold medal level of letting go. You don't have to do much. That is enlightenment. You're never going to get rid of thinking. Anyone who says they've gotten rid of thinking or is enlightened probably head the other direction. I mean, if they're laughing, smiling, and they're the most jovial person you've ever met and it feels good, maybe they are. There's maybe 7 people. I've never met anybody who's enlightened. I mean, we all can have opportunities for more samadhi, satori, miracles, siddhis, siddhi. You only have to ask for it and allow for it and get out of your own way and then pay attention. Yeah, it's incredible what angels can do. And you'll have the most fun ever. There's so much humor, it's crazy. But anyone who's stodgy dodgy up top, anyone who's adulting, who's taking their adulting so seriously, they're going to have a problem with this from the get-go. They're going to resist it all and be like, it can't be. Ha. So I'll tell you a dad joke. I'll put up one photo of an angel, and then I'm going to sign off. I hope you have a great February and March of 2024. I'll put up a photo of, let's see who we've got. I'll put up a photo of Charlotte. She's everybody's favorite school teacher from childhood with words meant to help you expand. If it was Mrs. Wilson in third form, you live in Canada and New Zealand, think of her as her. If it's third grade and it was Mrs. Johansson, think of her as her. She's got words meant to help you expand. She's been around the block. If you like ancient Egypt, talk to her. Put your hand out like she's a fireplace, but don't feel fire. Just feel sparkle, zip. I want you to breathe more through your mouth. Allow for what you can allow for. No tri-iota. And if you need to close your eyes, that's fine. But that's what a lot of Americans do. Open up your eyes. Let her move, pulse in the photo. She's got 50 million ways to do this. If you're trying too hard on your hands, you may feel sparkle on your toes or yummy in the tummy. Ask for a hug separately and get like a whoosh down your back, goosebump on your neck. And now ask her the one puff question I've always started with to keep it easy for the last 12 years. Hey, Charlotte, what do I need to know in life right now? What do you think all that little voice intuition stuff is that you're getting during the day that's the good stuff? It's either an angel, your relative, one of your cheerleaders. They would freak you out if you were driving and it was their voice coming in. So it's so much more gentle to just make it sound like you or your higher self is coming in. So ask her, hey, Charlotte, what do I need to know in life right now? Listen. If you're worried about this, like a dog that doesn't want to go for a walk, like this, you'll hear breathe, relax, let go, trust more, allow more, you got this. If you're already like a hardcore intuitive, a healer, you got a yoga practice, you got a Reiki practice, you may have already started to get answers and just hear what you need to hear about that project next week, the conference, this weekend, how to have more fun. Go off to the races with her. Make a donation if you would, if you had a really good time. If you caught, I don't think I've ever gotten a donation via the YouTube channel. I'd love to have a first. Definitely subscribe, like, and please share this with someone. We get so few views for some of the best world-class experts, a White House doctor, psychiatrist, Dr. Evan Alexander, former Harvard neurosurgeon who died on the table, came back. So near-death experience crowd, people with 3 near-death experiences, we've had 2 of those. Dr. Raymond Moody, the guy who defined the expression near-death experience, singers, actors, Ian Stenlake from Australia, Sea Patrol on Amazon right now. Check them out. They take steps before the show. I've had 2 people recently who've got to reconnect with their spouses, full-on reuniting, seeing and hearing who have passed in the last 5 years. That's cool. That's a lot of love. And that is a lot of allowing. So that's all I'm talking about, is you being the shiniest, happiest, sparkliest person. Scrooge at the end of the story, 79 pages or 2 hours later in the movie, embracing all, allowing for all, being joy, walking with joy. You can meet Joy the Angel, watch any of my other videos, but you can take steps in every one of my shows. Go back to episode 1 with Diane Forster. She's fantastic. 2020 California Coach of the Year, life coach. So many. I've got a Psychic of the Year in the group, a NASA oceanographer. It goes on and on. It's a whole panoply of folks. So many more amazing guests like that. The show is booked all the way to a year from now, March of 2025. We may start running 2 shows a week. But again, hit that subscribe button, put a comment in, just do what your favorite moment was. Just share something. It makes a difference for the algorithm, and it helps us reach many other people who have absolutely no idea they can get help out of thin air. They don't have to do anything with me to do this, but I do have a little book called Listening to Angels, 100% written by angels. It's $7.99. It's got 7 photos of angels inside the book. I sell those for $3 each on my website. You can load it onto your iPhone, put a photo of Joy on there, see what happens. Those are $3 each, so the book itself is a complete steal. That said, there's not a person who thinks that could possibly think that I wrote that book. It's so gentle. It's so loving. It's a 15, 20-minute read max. It's a max with all the extra pages in there, or non-pages. It's like 45 pages. It's really just 20 pages of writing, and we're talking electronic writing, so it's very fast. Just electronic form. Go to Amazon, amazon.com/author/angels. You don't even need my name to do it. It's been an Amazon bestseller, a #2 bestseller twice. So I'm very fortunate to have this book. Maybe we'll find a lit agent and get a big name publisher to put it out in book form. I'll have to think about that this spring, this summer. But what will you allow for? Allow for more love, allow for more kindness to yourself, to complete strangers. You're helping validate others, helping others on their own healing journey, because we're all doing healing every single day with just your laughter, smile, you letting go and not taking yourself and other people and other situations too seriously lets us all grow more. And mankind's ready for a change from rat race mode, from too much thinking, from too much seriousness, and worse, like violence, war, famine. There's plenty here for everyone. We can all have a little bit more fun and, appreciate the interconnectedness of all. Thank you very much, Michael André Ford in Texas. Check out my website, michaelandreford.com. Definitely, again, subscribe, like, share, comment, hit the notification button too. We've had, I think it's 385,000 visitors to 410,000 visitors to the channel in the last year. Depends which YouTube metric or tool you use, but that's a lot. Small channel with a big heart. Thank you again.